Hello, and welcome to What Am I Doing, the Dungeons & Dragons podcast where one experienced dungeon master and one failed scriptwriter discuss D&D topics. My name is Connor Kinsey, and my ridiculously inadequate pod partner is Lewis McCaffery. How are you doing, Lewis?
Oh, I'm great. These are getting more and more humorous by the episode.
I do not know why I'm struggling to say that first opening.
I think it's the moment you make eye contact. It's just...
As soon as I say pod partner, but it sounds like they're saying pot partner, like a stone cowboy.
Yeah, why not?
I struggle.
Yep. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm alright. You know, I'm just...
Living the dream?
Yeah, like I've had a good time. Been on holiday recently. But I've had a couple of significant defeats, should we say. You know, and it's all about the defeats.
Is it? Is this going somewhere, or are we about to turn this into just a drama dump?
I've noticed recently you've shaped well. You look better. You look
Thank you.
cheerful, happy in life.
I'm very cosy. I'm in a giant, oversized snooty at the moment. So
yeah. Would you say there's a couple of feats in your?
I mean, there's not enough feet in my snooty.
Oh. So. Okay. Wait. Hang on a minute. What about? Hang on. No. I'm gonna have to say this. I don't care if people turn off or not. What about an ood? Is it ood?
Ood.
An ood from made of feet.
Oh right. No, snooty. For some reason, when you said ood, I just thought of Doctor Who. A snooty made of feet. I'll be honest.
Oh, they're not called oods. They're called snoods.
They're called snooties or oodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that is both my dream and nightmare at the same time.
Yes.
You can decide which one is which, or which one's more prevalent.
And with that, let's get to it. Okay, so today's episode 11, is on feats. Players obtain them leveling, training, in or on the occasion gifted depending on who your DM is. But are they violated? Do they make a better character, or do they bore the experience for others? I've written this way too early before I wrote the questions. None of this is going to make sense. Lewis.
Oh no.
I paid a man from Reddit £200 to allow me to swap my feats for Fireball for our upcoming campaign that he plans to run in 2026. How do I get my money back? What feats would help me cancel my credit cards? Can you let me in?
Let me in. No.
Apart.
He's probably got off spending that £200 on those pack of cigs that Papa has got to get. No, I think in this moment it's one of the rare occasions where you are just screwed.
Yeah,
you paid £200 down. You don't know what feats
that campaign's never happening.
Yeah, the campaign's never happening.
I should have known. No one's going to make a TTRPG out of Teletubbies.
Oh, that actually sounds great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jesus, I'll take it back immediately. But yes, I think you're just screwed in that case.
That's fair enough.
I don't think there's anything you can do.
Okay, well, I'm going to quit because I need to get a real job. Okay, question number 1. In layman's terms, can you explain what a feat is?
Yes. So.
Okay, brilliant. Well, question number 2.
Yeah. A feat is basically let's say it's like a character upgrade. It's like a perk. If you think of other video games, when you level up, you might
a skill tree.
Yeah, exactly. You might get a new ability or something like that. If you're brand new to D&D, that's all you need to consider feats as. They can do different things, whether it's boosting your health, giving.
Oh, sorry, I'm just writing this down. I didn't. I've been playing for 2 years and I haven't got a fucking clue what they were. So that question was on me.
But by writing, he does mean scratching it into the table. So it can be things to boost your health. It can be ones that make your attack a little bit less accurate, but doing more damage. It's things like that. Or they can give you certain proficiencies or abilities that you otherwise don't have.
You're honing your skills.
Yeah,
you're honing your abilities.
Yeah, that's it in like simplest terms for people that are brand new to D&D.
Okay, that's fair enough. What's the best approach to choosing feats based on your class?
I think in terms of your class, you need to boil it down and look at what type of like fighting style or what do you contribute to the campaign and to the party. For example, the feats that in your campaign, myself, the paladin, and a fighter we took the Great Weapons Master for our ASI feat.
Right.
Or our fourth, So we did that because out of the four of us two are the heavy hitters. We're the ones that will immediately go in and try to do the most damage to
survive.
Yeah, literally. But it really depends. If you, for example, if you are the tank, if you want to be the one who absorbs the most damage to protect your teammates,
you might take Shield Master, for instance.
Shield Master, or you might pick the Tough feat.
Yeah.
It's basically looking at what your role is in the party and finding a feat that helps you to do that.
Do you think, and that's not on here as a question, do you think when picking your feats then it is really vital to think about the group you're with? Or is it more for a campaign setting?
Yeah, I don't think it's vital, but I think it helps because I think it's good to have a character that is very good at one particular thing, or it's good, for example, like I said, if you are the tank in a party, then it'd make much more sense to pick a feat that will help you to be that rather than to pick, let's say, sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Or poor example, but something like that.
Yeah.
I think it just helps to hone your character for what they are good at, because it's good to have a party with different people that are good at different things and bad at different things.
It's always good to not just try and be the best at everything.
Exactly, yeah. You want to be very good at one thing or a couple of things, your main ones, and it's fine to be bad at others and let the rest of the group shine, because otherwise you're just trying to hoggle this.
Always think of it as like a bit of a job interview. You're picking out your character and what you'll become, and you're trying to work out what you bring to the team that people won't, right? Yeah. And so they'll pick you.
Well, yeah.
That was quite sweet actually. That's
what I'm here for.
That's
it's
pretty.
A snooter.
I'm actually crying right now. Do you pick your class? No, this one I despise.
Okay.
Do you pick your class and race knowing what feats you'll pick? Because that, my friend, is a stupid fucking dickhead alignment.
Personally, no. However, you can pick... I wouldn't pick the racing class based on feats.
Yeah.
You can do it the other way around. I mean...
We do have people that do it, though.
Yeah. You can pick a class. For example, when I picked the Paladin, I knew that when I eventually pick a feat, I'd probably pick Great Weapon Master, because I want to go in and do some damage.
Yeah.
But whilst also being able to, obviously heal the party. So it's okay to have an idea what you're going to do. It's when you're doing or when you're planning everything out just to be the best. I think even if you pick a racing class thinking, right, if I do this, then I'll pick that feat. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you're doing that to contribute. You're doing that to hone your character further down the line. You're not doing that to think, right, at 4th level if I pick Great Weapon Master, and then at 8th level I pick Polar Master, and then, and picking loads of things that just make you the best at everything. I think that's when you really need to quit D&D.
Also, but also you're not really playing as a character. You've picked a character around a feat.
Yeah.
And so you've got nothing really to give outside of being able to do that one thing. Yeah. And so you're a bit of a one-trick pony, Exactly. Sounds like we're just outing people now, which we are. But, the thing is, it's just more like think about the team.
Yeah, it's fine.
Think about what you can offer.
It's fine to do that as long as you're also focusing on your character and the personality and the role play.
Yeah, how does that work based on the character you've created?
Exactly.
your backstory, the alignment, how you go about seeing, even the location that you start off in. For instance, say you're from that town, it might not be a whole backstory, but if you're from like a dwarven mining town, are you likely to be a lizard folk, like fisherman?
Yeah,
probably something to do with mining. So like a feat that revolves around, and that's way in depth and way more in depth than it needs to be. But things like that really flesh out who you are and how people will also approach you in the team, right? What you could be good at, Yeah,
like I said, there's nothing wrong with nothing necessarily wrong with picking a racing class depending on the feat, but again, I think it depends on the person, because people can ruin or make a character no matter how OP or how random their feats are and things. It all depends on who's playing it and whether they're willing to be in a team game, I think. Otherwise, like I said, quit D&D.
Last question, we kind of summarise it anyway. Is it okay for DMs to restrict players' feat choices when levelling under circumstances?
The thing is, right,
That's a yes.
Yeah. The thing is, when the question is always, is it okay for the DM? My go-to is always yes. Obviously, there are some things that if you restrict as a DM, you're a bit of an asshole. Like,
you don't want to ever have to say no.
You don't want to, like, me as a DM, I don't want to restrict it at all, really. But if I have to, I will, because the thing is, if you very clearly have a problem player, and they are just in it for themselves, they're not interested in being part of the team, and they're constantly derailing sessions, then it's kind of your job at a DM to keep them under control, and when they try and go down their path of bullshittery, it's up to you to bring them back, or sometimes DMs do just need to be harsh and say, sorry, that's restricted, or sorry, no.
Yeah.
In the terms of, like, progressing your character, obviously, I have the rule. I very strongly believe a DM should never say no to something in session, but
you really got to think about the party, not the person, not the player.
Exactly. I think, like I said, if a DM is restricting it just because they can't be bothered with a hassle, it's like Great Weapon.
That's a shit DM.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like in Great Weapon Master in your campaign. If you would have said, "Oh, I'm not going to let you pick that because you might do too much damage and kill things too quickly," it would have been like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's like there's no point to restrict that. But if you restrict,
it's on the DM to make things more challenging.
Yeah,
you know?
If you restrict something for a genuine reason, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
What about you? What's your stance on DM restrictions?
I mean, I've dealt with a lot of people who want things that it's them as a person. You knew they were going to be bullshitting you.
Yes.
Not because I feel like I should apologise and I'd be like, oh, I really just don't want this person to do well. I want everyone to do well, me and them. I'm always for the party, not just the player. But there are people who literally just need to beat the game.
Yeah.
And
everyone else in their party.
Yeah, even though they're literally there for that. So there are points where you go, do you know what, this makes no sense. Like, it's just not, it wouldn't be fair on everyone else for you to have this.
Yeah.
It might sound blasé, but it's quite easy to just Google class OP builds and then just pick that, and you kind of taking everyone else out of the experience because it's all you, you know, and there's no point. You just go play a single player game, or
very good way around that is if someone wants a feat, why do you want the feat? What? Yeah. And like, not even just like tell me how OP it is, but how does that fit in your character? What are you going to do with it? And then if they just say, oh, I don't know, just I'm like bingo, get the fuck out of my table.
It's not on it's not on here, and I might get shot down for this, but also I think there's also examples where, for instance, an Azamar can gain, like, you can get your wings back.
Yeah.
And I think we've had this discussion as you're an Azamar on yours, and I said, well, when you get that, hold out for a moment. You've got it, but hold out.
Yeah.
Because there's a situation I could make into the campaign where that plays a bigger part for you to have. And I think that goes back to the role play as well. If everyone agrees to that, that might seem mad because you go, well, I leveled up, so I've earned it already. But I feel like even as a player, if someone said, if you wait for a moment, I can really like embrace that into the campaign and make it an experience you're dealing with rather than just obtaining overnight whilst we're not even playing. I would wholeheartedly be way happy with my DM with that.
Definitely. So I think stuff like that is definitely useful. It's like,
it just feels like there's more to the game than just we're here on a Monday night and we go. You know,
even if it's something as simple as like a training montage. Yeah. Like it helps you to. Because, don't get me wrong, everyone loves it when you level up and you get that boost. But if you earn something during the game, then it's so much more beneficial. I agree. Or
it just feels like you're watching you're watching like a TV show, and you see something happen to make them better, and you're like, oh yeah, here we go. That's kind of what you want people to feel, right? So I think that's like a third option in my mind, and it's always beneficial to the person, unless you really just don't want them to have it, but you're also too nice to say no.
Well, which a lot of people are.
Well, I said last question 2 questions ago.
Okay.
But favourite feat?
Ooh.
Don't say mine.
Oh no. Morgan's. No. I don't think I have a favourite. Really, I think there are some that are better than others. Obviously, like Great Weapon Master is just a staple. That's a very good one. Warcaster's a good one, but again, it depends if you're playing with. But obviously, with Wizard being my favourite class. Warcaster's a good one. I usually always go for that. Or even Ritual Caster, things like that. I don't think I have a favourite. I have ones that I'll almost always pick and ones that I'll never pick, but I don't think I have a favourite.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
I've not played most of my DMing, my player time has been with one character mostly. And so I would say Sentinel. That's because I was playing a polearm.
Yeah.
But like that was so helpful for someone who was learning because it almost, especially that feat, it gives you a little bit more time to think about what you're doing at the cost of an enemy, and that's really nice. It's like good gameplay. But there we go.
Nice.
All right, well,
I've
all
learned
good.
something about you today.
Yes,
And
I can be nice. Or, yeah.
Oh no, I was like,
My feet.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, today's God, I can't even speak. Today's adventure is sadly coming to a close, but we are back again next week with the topic: hands are the feet to the arms, but are you using them properly?
Beautiful.
And as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you'd like to join in on the D&D action, then follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WhatAmID&D. I've been Connor Kinsey.
I've been Liz McCaffery.
Good day.
Goodbye.